Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace, mercy, and blessings of God be upon you. This is a new presentation from www.central-mosque.com and the Humble Heart YouTube channel. This is the 40th episode of the Making Sense series, and the topic today is Pakistan versus Taliban, is war inevitable? Throughout this presentation, I'm going to use certain terminologies. When I'm referring to Afghanistan and the rulers of Afghanistan, I'm going to say the word Taliban. And when I'm going to refer to the Khawarij who are waging terrorism inside Pakistan, I'm going to say the short abbreviated form TTP, Tehreek-e-Taliban-e-Pakistan. These are two separate organizations. So again, TTP for terrorists who are waging a war inside Pakistan, Taliban being Afghanistan and the rulers of Afghanistan. Let's begin. I wanted to wait a few days. Today is the 14th of October. I wanted to wait a few days to be able to gauge the journalist in both in Pakistan and Afghanistan whom I trust to actually be able to tell us what's happening on the ground, and to actually also listen to scholars and commentators and so on. So first things first, India for a number of years has been saying that they will use Darul Uloom Deoband, clearly saying they will use Darul Uloom Deoband against Pakistan, and they will. So here is the National Security Advisor of India, Ajit Doval, and he said in 2016, we will use the Taliban the way we want. They listen more to Deoband. We will control them through Deoband. They are mercenaries. India is a much bigger economy. We will inject more funds and they will be on our side. So this was in 2016. So what has happened now in 2025? Let's continue. When it comes to Pakistan and the people of Pakistan, there are a number of things they've done for Afghanistan and the people of Afghanistan. There isn't, you will hardly find families within Pakistan who don't have any close relatives or distant relatives who have either been injured or have become shaheed or passed away in Afghanistan, fighting a war inside Afghanistan. You will not come across many Pakistanis who have not interacted with Afghan refugees in Pakistan. As I've said this numerous times before, when I was in school, we used to go around collecting funds, we used to visit hospitals, we used to go to the refugee camps, and in our class, these Afghan refugees which were coming in, we used to assist them because obviously they're coming into a different country, language issues, barriers, etc. So generations of Pakistanis have grown up assisting the people of Afghanistan. Afghanistan is a landlocked country, so it relies very heavily on trade, on medical assistance, because it doesn't have advanced hospitals and doctors, etc. And also doesn't have good universities and academic networks, so they rely on Pakistan for that. So that's what people of Pakistan have done, and everybody is aware of what has happened when Soviet Union invaded Afghanistan and in 1979 until now, and what role Pakistan has played in this whole scenario. So why is there so much hatred in Afghanistan against the people of Pakistan? There's genuine reason for that, because Taliban, when they started, they started to rule over a small area, but how they were catapulted in the mid-90s to rule all over Afghanistan is because of the machinations and the plans of Pakistan inter-service intelligence and the Pakistani military. They are the ones who hoisted Taliban over the people of Afghanistan, and basically, the people of Afghanistan resented the Taliban because of their repressive measures, and still do to this day, because a lot of girls in Afghanistan cannot study and so on and so forth. Pakistan has been meddling in the affairs of Afghanistan for decades. Why? Because if you look at the map of Pakistan, it is very narrow. So Pakistan military is always deemed that in a conventional war with India, they need strategic depth. Pakistan is narrow, so the only way they can have strategic depth is to actually use Afghanistan. So they have always meddled in the affairs of Afghanistan, and the Afghans have resented the people of Pakistan for it, or specifically the government. Then when the US invaded Afghanistan in 2001, this person right here, Musharraf, single-handedly reversed a decades-long policy of Pakistan, where Pakistan had supported the Mujahideen, and all of a sudden Pakistan provided air bases, Pakistan provided airspace, Pakistan provided intelligence for US operations to kill thousands of Afghans, and those wounds are still fresh. Not only that, these Afghans, when they were bombed by the US forces, when they escaped over the border into Pakistan, the Pakistani military captured them and sold these Afghans to US for dollars. Pervez Musharraf, in his book In the Line of Fire, actually says this shamelessly and with pride. And this is the reason why the people of Afghanistan, the current generation, resent the Pakistani military specifically and the state of Pakistan. When it comes to terrorism inside Pakistan, as a result of instability in Afghanistan, Pakistan has also suffered for decades for terrorism and so on and so forth. However, this became to die down. The military and the intelligence and security services were able to control it until it actually lowered significantly around 2018, and then, as we know, Imran Khan became the Prime Minister of Pakistan. During Imran Khan's years, these terrorisms were almost down to nil. The reason being is Pakistan refused to provide its airspaces and air bases for America to use as against Afghanistan, and as a result, the terrorism was down to zero. What has happened now, and I'm specifically talking about 2025, the terrorism is on the rise, and this is an original figure. Today, as we stand, it is exceeding the levels of deaths in Pakistan that Pakistan has ever suffered. So there's a massive problem in Pakistan of terrorism, particularly directed at three sort of people: the military, the security agencies, and the government. And third, the ulama. Why the ulama? I will talk about the scholars. Why the scholars? I will talk about that in a moment. So this is TTP. The current leader of TTP is Mufti Nurullah Mahsood. And so let me give you a little bit of background. When America was waging war inside Afghanistan, Americans used to pursue Taliban or Mujahideen when they were fighting against the Americans. They used to, because this is a long border and it is porous, they used to come over inside Pakistan into sanctuaries. The Americans could not pursue them inside Pakistan. The TTP, the terrorist Khawarij organizations, have pretty much reversed this pattern. So what they do is they commit acts of terrorism inside Pakistan and they escape inside Afghanistan when the military and the other agencies are pursuing them. So this person at the moment is in Kabul, and that is the biggest bone of contention in Pakistan. Basically, he is living it in Kabul openly. So let's now talk about the ulama. The ulama, the scholars of Pakistan, have been deeply involved with affairs in Afghanistan. Particularly, I will give you two examples. This is Mufti Abdul Rahim of Jamiat al-Rashid. Two of his brothers became shaheed in Afghanistan. He was close to Mullah Omar and close to the subsequent Taliban, and had meetings with Osama bin Laden. So this goes back in the 90s. And here is Mufti Taqi Usmani. So the Pakistani military and the Pakistani government, to their credit, have sent Mufti Abdul Rahim twice into Afghanistan, pretty much a blank paper to say, we will agree to whatever, just tell the Taliban to stop providing refuge and their land to these terrorists who cross the border into Afghanistan. Mufti Taqi Usmani, he went to Afghanistan in 2022. There's a video on my channel where I've discussed this, and he met the leader of Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan for over 2 hours. Mufti Taqi Usmani has mentioned it in a video, and the leader of TTP has also responded to Mufti Taqi Usmani recently, a few months ago. So basically, this meeting took place on the soil of Afghanistan, so there is no doubt that if Taliban are not actively backing TTP, at least TTP has refuge and are inside Afghanistan. The Pakistani security services and now the ulama, the scholars of Pakistan, are saying that no, it's one step beyond. The Taliban are actually aiding and abetting these terrorist activities inside Pakistan. So why? You must ask. In the mid 90s, when the Taliban came to power, if you look at religious articles, newspapers from those days and talks and so on, they were all singing praises of Taliban. So how come the ulama in Pakistan, the very same ulama, such as Mufti Abdul Rahim Sahab, Mufti Taqi Usmani and so on, why are they now saying the opposite? The reason being is the ulama have explained that Afghanistan is a very poor country. It is a tribal society. The infrastructure almost is nil. So influence can be gained in Afghanistan via money, and there is tons of foreign money pouring into Afghanistan. That money is buying influence. It's even buying influence and leadership inside the Taliban. So Taliban currently, the Shura consists of around 24 people and so on and so forth. And from what the scholars are saying and very clearly saying in Pakistan is that a vast majority of Taliban are silent because they no longer have the kind of influence they once did. These Taliban, when they got injured in fighting the Americans, they came into Pakistan. Their families lived in Pakistan. Their wives, their children grew up in Pakistan. Their parents, old parents and families grew up in Pakistan. But they have been sidelined by a minority who have been bought. Secondly, Taliban are not really in control of the whole of Afghanistan. There are vast parts of Afghanistan where Taliban don't really have control. So nobody knows what these areas are being used for. And apparently these areas can be used or are being used against Pakistan. Thirdly, if you remember the 1990s, America, when 9/11, sorry, not the 1990s, early 2000s, when 9/11 happened, America demanded Osama bin Laden to be tried inside America. Mullah Omar refused, saying it's Pashtun loyalty and it's part of our religion to be hospitable. So he said, we are not going to do that. TTP, which are waging terrorism inside Pakistan, for decades they fought alongside Taliban against the Americans. So the line between the border between Afghanistan and Pakistan is, let me try to explain this to you. So they're Pashtuns on both sides. They're relatives, they have relationships, they have communities, etc. Basically Pashtun people on either side of the border. So if Taliban didn't return Osama bin Laden to America based on Pashtun loyalty and the religion of Islam, then this bond is even stronger against TTP, or with TTP rather, who are also Pashtun. So A, Taliban are certain the leadership of Taliban is being influenced by foreign money. B, Taliban are not strong enough to control the whole of Afghanistan. And C, because Taliban are indebted to these people, they're not taking action. The end result is massive and a huge spike in terrorism in Pakistan. So what has recently happened? So I'm recording this on the 14th of October 2025, a few days before this, and still the Afghan foreign minister is in India, visiting India on an official visit. He has made some incendiary statements, which we will talk about in a second. So Pakistan government and military and everyone has tried to control this wave of terrorism. I've seen a lot of tweets and a lot of posts on Facebook and social media where Muslims all over the world are talking about, why did Pakistan invade Afghanistan? Why did they, bomb? It has, the people of Pakistan are sick and tired of reading janazas, funeral prayers of people who are daily blown up in bomb blasts. They are sick of it. And that's what's happened. This has reached a breaking point. Anyway, let's continue. So, sick and tired of this situation, the Pakistan military took action, Air Force specifically, on the 10th of October 2025, and they went and bombed. They had some intelligence that this head of this TTP organization, which is Pakistani citizen, by the way, not Afghani citizen, so they decided to attack that in Kabul. They shouldn't have done that. Bad idea, but they did that. They tried to assassinate him. 2 days later, on the 12th of October 2025, the Taliban attacked Pakistan border posts with light weapons. Pakistan army repelled the attack and actually attacked with heavy weapons. On the 13th, Pakistan destroyed some of the largest military bases that the Taliban use, because they were saying, and it is true, satellite footage shows that some of them were used by Al-Qaeda and TTP and so on and so forth. Pakistani Air Force destroyed them. Pakistan to this day has refused to cease fire, and they have continued to target what they deem to be centers of terrorism inside Afghanistan. Afghanistan has repeatedly asked for ceasefire, and Pakistan has refused to do that, and they continue to target inside Afghanistan. So, what have the Taliban said in India, which has hit a raw nerve in Pakistan? The foreign minister of Taliban, Mullah Muttaqi, said that Afghan soil will not be used against India. Rightly, the people of Pakistan are asking, okay, that's good. Why is Afghan soil being used against Pakistan? We are the ones who shed blood for you. We are the ones who hosted you. We still provide you with facilities, trade, medical facilities, etc., etc., etc. Second thing that hit a raw nerve both in Pakistan and also to Kashmiri Muslims is he has said that they have accepted Kashmir, or he has made a statement to this effect that it is part of India. So we know that two of the areas where genocide is occurring towards Muslim and oppression and brutality is Palestine and Indian Kashmir. These are very serious incendiary statements. So, as I said, the people of Pakistan are sick and tired of reading janazas, funeral prayers on citizens of Pakistan. Some of these are just innocent soldiers, border patrol, border security forces who are just doing their job on the border, and they're being blown up on a regular basis. A lot of this anger is coming from ulama, scholars, and religious practicing people in Pakistan. Why? Because people like me who've grown up, as a child, either, donating my pocket money or visiting the Afghan camps and refugee camps. I don't live in Pakistan anymore, obviously, but there are a lot of people who do, who have grown up over decades assisting the people of Pakistan. The scholars have gone into Afghanistan, including Mufti Taqi Usmani in June 2022. Feel free to search my channel and you'll find that. And they've tried to solve this issue of terrorism inside Pakistan, and they've been rebuffed. The Pakistani military is seething with anger. The reason being is it is the sixth largest military in the world, and Taliban are basically, the world has this image of Afghan as unbeatable and so on and so forth. We can debate that a little bit because that's not really true. At the end of the day, this is a small ragtag army with small weapons, and they have decided to attack a nuclear-powered country with the sixth military. Pakistan military really brought down the hammer on Afghanistan because they are seething. Because in the middle of the night, lightly protected border guards, Taliban decided to attack. Pakistan really brought down the hammer. I have videos which I don't want to share of utter absolute carnage that Pakistan army has inflicted back on Afghanistan military installations. And then I'm talking about general Pakistani people who are not religious or mildly religious or whatever. Even they have grown up with 40 plus years of hospitality to Afghanistan. And when the Afghan foreign minister sits in India and says the soil of Afghanistan will not be used against terrorism in India, people are seething. The people of Pakistan are absolutely seething. If you're not a Pakistani, or if you're a typical Western Muslim who does not understand the politics of this area, you may not understand the anger of all three of these combined. However, overwhelming majority of Pakistan people, scholars, religious or non-religious, do not want a war with Afghanistan. These are our brothers. We've grown up with them. They are it's a brotherly nation. Nobody wants a war with Afghanistan. The biggest reason is recently this despot has visited Donald Trump multiple times, and it is fairly well established that the Americans have asked Pakistan to take action against Afghanistan. Why? Because Pakistan is well aware of the terrain, aware of the language, has human intelligence that can actually target and hurt Afghanistan, and because of the foolishness of the TTP and because of the foolishness of the Taliban hosting them or providing them sanctuary inside Afghanistan, the two objectives have converged. And it is given a reason for Pakistan army, even the ones who do not want to fight the Afghans, they are sick and tired of lifting the janazas, the dead bodies of their comrades. So this is a despicable individual. Imran Khan has now been in jail for a number of years. This is the despicable individual who has been hoisted upon the people of Pakistan. And you must have seen the press conference. And I am right now seething with anger, but I don't want to say something which I'm going to regret. Okay, this guy, it is unbelievable. So what is happening in Pakistan generally. People of Pakistan are not in favor of a war with Afghanistan. Absolutely not. Nobody wants to fight the people, our Muslim brothers. When you look at the social media, there are few crazy military-aligned journalists and accounts who are saying death to Afghans and do this and do that. Ridiculous. Nobody wants that. They do want the issue of terrorism resolved. It is a genuine issue. The evidence is that Mufti Taqi Usmani had to fly outside of Pakistan into Kabul to meet the head of the guy who's doing all this terrorism inside Pakistan. The Pakistani army is issuing video after video of all these things, or leaking the videos rather, but there are no public celebrations on the streets of Pakistan. Nobody is supporting the army. Vice versa, what's happened in Afghanistan, there's a mood of jubilation. Taliban are not supported by whole of Afghanistan. I don't know how to convey that to people. Taliban are still not supported by the whole of Afghanistan. Yes, they rule Afghanistan, but they're not supported by the population of Afghanistan, except a few. However, in this case, the nationalism has come forth and the people are rejoicing in the streets of Afghanistan because apparently, it's like, they have dared attack Pakistan. So, let me tell you what's happened here. Okay, there are a number of credible journalists who are reporting, who I trust, both from Pakistan and Afghanistan, both sides. Let me take you back a slide here to make you understand what's happened here. What they're basically saying is they were not expecting Pakistan Air Force to violate the sovereignty of Afghanistan and attack Kabul. Pakistan Air Force did that. Taliban could not just sit idly and not do anything. So they decided to attack Pakistan border posts with light weapons as a symbolic thing to actually appease the people. Pakistani army brought down the hammer because Pakistani army could not believe that they have actually done that. They brought down the hammer, right? This then escalated rapidly. This is the situation that we are in right now. So despite this jubilation in Afghanistan, as you see on the streets, what is the net result and what is happening in Afghanistan? Because of all these activities with terrorism stuff, refugees or Afghans or migrants who have lived in Pakistan for decades have been expelled, and the military is continuing to do that. Despicable manner. You see on the streets of the capital of Islamabad, you see Afghan women with children, some of them, their husbands are Pakistani citizens, babies, right? In the cold of Islamabad, basically it is a despicable sight. And I know that many of the media in the West, Muslim and non-Muslim, have covered it. Not only Pakistan, but in some of the neighbors of Afghanistan, Iran, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, have expelled millions of, or pushed, let me use the word pushed these Afghan nationals back into Afghanistan. A lot of these have lived in these countries for generations. Iran has been particularly brutal. As a result, from what I'm hearing from credible journalists inside Afghanistan and Pakistan, it has caused a major issue in Afghanistan. Afghanistan is already poor. Afghanistan has no opportunities. Afghanistan has no jobs. Afghanistan has no infrastructure. And all of a sudden, you have this population of people who've come from other countries. Maybe they've learned some skills or had business. Everything's been destroyed. They've been pushed inside Afghan territory. Okay, major issue. Secondly, when I'm talking to you in in the middle of October, this is the grape and the apple harvest season in Afghanistan. Afghanistan is a landlocked country, so a lot of times what they do is they export all of this stuff into Pakistan. It gets consumed in Pakistan in massive quantity. That's one of the reasons, how they earn money. Also, Afghanistan has no flour processing plants. They have wheat. So all of this raw wheat comes into Pakistan, gets processed, gets packed, or gets sent back into Afghanistan. There are now hundreds. There's a typo here. There are close to 1,000+ trucks right now, which I've just recently checked, on the border because Pakistan has closed the border. Finished. Afghanistan, as I said, does not have any good medical facilities. People in Afghanistan are desperate, so they bring their ill and those who need treatment inside Pakistan. They come into Peshawar and places like that. Even they make a day trip for dental needs, medical needs, and so on. Pakistan has closed the border. There are patients lined up for miles who cannot get into Pakistan and get treatment. The military infrastructure of Taliban, some of it which they inherited from America, the bases the Americans constructed, have been destroyed with relentless bombing by the Pakistani Air Force. Taliban have really been hit hard, and they will continue to be hit hard. Taliban is not a fighting force. They cannot fight in an army. What they can do is they can attack. They can do guerrilla warfare. They can attack in the middle of the night and so on, and that's about it. They cannot openly fight in an army that speaks their language, knows their terrain, knows what they're about, taught them how to fight over decades. So that's not going to happen. It is a regrettable situation, but the Pakistan army are seething with angers because, as I said, because of the janazas, the coffins of their colleagues that they've been lifting. This has put cracks in the Taliban. The latest, as I'm talking to you today, this is Sirajuddin Haqqani, the interior minister of Taliban. Today he went to Paktika province, and this is an unprecedented move. So he was visiting Paktika, and all of a sudden he went off the script and he started and you can see these scripts on the internet, by the way, where he, the foreign minister of Afghanistan in India said that, ask British, ask the Americans, who defeated them, ask the Soviets. And he went ballistic, and he says those people who didn't even take part in jihad are taking credit. He actually openly said it. Secondly, one of the spokesmen for Taliban, Sohail Shaheen, he appears on TV, on TRT and CNN and so on and so forth. His daughter is actually studying in Qatar, and he mentions it. He goes, people are not allowing the daughters of Afghanistan to study, but their own daughters are studying overseas. So this is a massive break from Sirajuddin Haqqani, interior minister of Taliban, who spoke about it in public. If you can see this clip, which I can't upload because of copyright issues, he's talking about it, and people are when he starts to talk about this in Pashto, there's absolute silence, because no one is expecting the interior minister of Taliban to actually criticize the Taliban themselves. So they have been. The other news is, because of the hammer that's been brought down by the Pakistani military, there have been 15 transfers internally within Taliban. Taliban have special forces. Their special forces are called 313 Badri Brigade. They have Khalid bin Walid Corps, an entire corps of military. They have Mansouri Brigade. All of these commanders have been replaced because the decision to attack Pakistan border posts was suicidal. The Taliban should have never done that. All Pakistan did is Pakistan should not have initially attacked Kabul by sending drones. That was an error. But the error of Taliban to try to attack Pakistan border posts was suicidal, and those have been replaced. Now there are cracks appearing in Taliban. There's a lot of hardship that is coming to Afghanistan. Winter is about to approach and all of this stuff. Borders have been closing from all sides, not just in Pakistan. Their produce is rotting. They cannot get their sick treated and so on and so forth. But because of this situation right here, US pressure, Pakistan is in no position, or Pakistan is not going to back down, because there's confirmed news that they have earned dollars by selling Pakistan's sovereignty in a war to the Americans. The Americans have basically rented the Pakistan army to go and inflict death and destruction upon our Muslim brothers. So what is our only hope? How do we resolve it? Pakistani military is despised in Afghanistan. Pakistani military is despised in Pakistan. Both countries, the populations hate this military, who have ousted Imran Khan and inflicted unknown oppression upon the citizens of Pakistan. They are being given dollars to wage war on Afghanistan. Neither populations trust them. Taliban are in power. They despise them because the Pakistani military arrested a lot of their comrades and sold them to America for dollars. That's not going to happen. The only way to resolve this is to send, and right now they are both secular, liberal people and religious people are combined to say the only people who can resolve this are the scholars of Pakistan, because people like Mufti Abdur Rahim or Mufti Taqi Usmani, Hafizahullah Ta'ala, people like that who are well respected on both sides of the border, to go and appeal calm and to actually stop this war. That's probably not going to happen. The reason it's not going to happen is the military is in charge, and it is in their interest to inflict barbarity, death and destruction on Muslim brothers in Afghanistan. Pakistan has a genuine issue with terrorism. That is true. Taliban should not let terrorists take hold in their land and do this kind of stuff. But this has got to be resolved through dialogue, through discussion, and the people of Afghanistan and the people of Pakistan equally respect their scholars, and that is the only hope we got. So I end with this video by asking you to please raise your hands and pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that Muslims do not shed the blood of other Muslims. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.